RK's Guyana Free Media presents for human development and national development this message.
Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, peace, mercies, blessings, beloved divine friends and family, brothers and sisters in the fraternity of religions, the concourse of humanity, nation Guyana and the world at large. Before I move on further, remember there is a spike with the COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be very careful. Very special people are getting sick. I have already lost some. You all please be very careful. Those of you who like to socialize by the seawall and what's that, please be careful. Don't take chances with your life and your family. Remember to wear your masks. Remember to hold your masks on the strings and don't rub your hand in the front and put it on your face. Remember to sanitize, ladies and gentlemen, in between for at least your thumb. People don't wash their thumb. They don't clean the inside and the middle here. They don't like to clean the edges here. And you try to all exposed parts. You try to sanitize, take care of your health, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing is worth your health and your life. Dearest, beloved, divine friends and families in Guyana and around the world, Guyana is at the doldrums, the bad winds, the terrible things. Guyana is in a state of shame by a group who wants to steal our elections and who are accustomed to rigging and understand the depths for many, many decades in this country. So today I'm going to read you something that was done in a discussion sometime earlier by Lowenfield, the mastermind, one of the bosses in the rigging due to his loyalty to whomsoever are his handlers. I would like to show you this on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, Lowenfield, you'll see him up here on the Guyana Times. Maybe you must see it also in the other newspapers as well. He's making quite a headline for himself. The reading today, taken from Guyana Times, Friday, July 3rd, 2020. It is impossible to vote for someone else, Lowenfield, the master rigger, and yet deems 115,844 votes invalid due to impersonation in 2020, without any evidence except his personal opinion and views, so as to pull the victory from Dr. Irfan Ali and the PPPC and give it to whom he is loyal to. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make it quite clear. Yours truly, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, I have no problem with any political party that wins the election. I have voted for different parties over my lifetime. So I have no loyalty to anyone in particular. My loyalty is to Guyana and to the people of this country, dearest, beloved, divine friends and families in Guyana and around the world. Taken from this 3rd of July, your friend, your brother, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan on RK's Guyana Free Media. An invention and a creation by inspiration from God Almighty. 5 years ago, Chief Elections Officer, CEO Keith Lowenfield made it clear that it was not possible for voter impersonification to take place within Guyana's electoral system. Now he is completely flip-flopped on that position in order to give a victory to the APNU and the AFC commentary, whom he seems completely dedicated to and owned by. And I know my friends in the APNU AFC, some of them are annoyed with me, but I have to stand, ladies and gentlemen, my friends in the PNC, for what is right. And I know some of you are annoyed with me. There's nothing I can do about that. I have to stand for Guyana and for the rule of law. I think we need to put to rest the concept that a man can leave a polling station A in Cumminsburg and go across to Albertown or Queenstown and hop around. It's just not possible, Lowenfield had explained in 2015 during the regional and general elections. It has to be a room where you can vote at more than one location. The reality is that for you to vote at a polling station, you have to be listed to vote there. In that polling station, our presiding officer and the party agents will have a list that is specific to that polling station. But if you go into another polling station, then your name will not be there. So you're not even having access to that polling station. And because your name is not there, the CO had reasoned, even if you impersonate someone and you have removed the ink, then you go to another polling station in another name, but you don't have an ID card, then the folio has come up into play where our staff, the GCOM's presiding officer and APO, assistant presiding officer, have the folio for all of the persons listed on that specific polling station. So you came and say, I am Troy Johnson, and you don't have an ID card, and you have to pass through the process of probably having the features of Troy. The features of Troy. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a folio there with your photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a folio there with your photographs and your fingerprint and your description and everything else. So this whole thing about valid votes and invalid votes is all trickery. Everyone who voted and was on the count and the recount, it says valid votes recounted. Total nonsense and confusion and deceit, ladies and gentlemen. You have to pass through the process of probably having the features of Troy. And our presiding officer will be asking you, since you don't have an ID card, as the chairman at the time, Dr. Steve Surajbani, mentioned earlier, what's your name? And your date of birth? And your mother's middle name? So there is questions we have for you when you'll be coming to impersonate. So it's all there in the folio. Your mother's name, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be good. And two, don't forget the police is there, you know. And the agents for the APNU and the PPPC are there. And the local observers are there. So it's not, you can't impersonate. It is almost impossible. According to him, voter personification, according to him, voter impersonation is just not possible. This is the same CEO who has now dumped over 115,000 votes based on unsubstantiated allegations leveled by APNU and AFC coalition that votes in 2020 elections were recorded in the names of dead and migrated people. Lowenfield, on June 23rd, submitted a report to the chair of the Guyana Elections Commission. Justice Claudia Singh with fabricated numbers which show that the APNU AFC won the elections. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, commentary, this is before the court. He's being charged privately for a criminal act of fabrication and fraud by two private citizens of Guyana. Lowenfield's figures, however, are far from the truth, since the national recount exercise as certified by the CARICOM community, CARICOM, and GCOM itself shows that the People's Progressive Party, CIVIC, won the elections with 233,336 votes. The recount exercise, which saw every single ballot cast at the March 2nd polls being recounted in the presence of party agents, elections officials, local and international observers, and has been deemed transparent and credible by organizations like the Commonwealth, Organization of American States, OAS, CARICOM, as well as the governments of the USA, Canada, United Kingdom, Norway, and European Union, among others. In fact, they have all called for the recount results to form the basis of the declaration of elections results, with some foreign powers warning of sanctions if the government of the day does not reflect the will of the people. Commentary, ladies and gentlemen, can we imagine if these powerful countries did not exist, what tyrants, manipulators and tricksters like what we're seeing here, something that we saw in the 60s, late 60s and the 70s and the 80s, where fraud of the highest maximum was committed, where horses voted in London with overseas votes, and so much more, ladies and gentlemen, empty lots, people voted. We can imagine what it is like and what it does to a nation and to a people. The GCOM chair had made a decision to use the recount results as the basis of the declaration of the winner of the 2020 elections and had instructed Lowenfield to prepare a report accordingly, according to a court action filed by APNU AFC to interfere with that process. Lowenfield eventually submitted the report with the fraudulent numbers. In fact, the CEO went further to defend his actions in the face of criticism from both local and international stakeholders, including the CARICOM chair, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Lowenfield's latest report to the Commission is being regarded as his fourth attempt to alter the results of the election in favour of the APNU AFC coalition. The first two times they were when he supported the fraudulent declarations made by returning officer for Region 4, Claremont Mingo, for that district. Commentary: what a total shame and disgrace that these people have done unto themselves and to the party that is accepting them. The party that is affecting them is actually destroying themselves in perpetuity, and I'm sorry about that, because I always said since President Desmond Hoyt that I have always had friends in the People's National Congress. On March 5th, Mingo declared fraudulent results for District 4, prompting the PPPC to move to the courts, which scrapped those results and ordered that the process be done through the legally prescribed procedure. When the process was resumed, Mingo still proceeded to use concocted numbers, and he eventually made a second fraudulent declaration on March 13. Mingo had declared that the APNU AFC won 126,057 votes for District 4, while the PPPC won 77,231. But the certified recount process clearly shows that the PPPC, that for Region 4, the PPPC won 80,920 and the APNU AFC won 116,941 votes. Following the recount exercise, Lowenfield had submitted a report on the activity to the Commission, in which he included the certified figures which show victory for the PPPC, as well as concocted figures which disenfranchised some 60% of voters. In that report, Lowenfield claimed that the APNU and the AFC won 125,010 votes, while the PPPC won 56,627. He claimed that the other votes were invalid based on unsubstantiated allegations of the APNU AFC coalition. Lowenfield's latest report actually validates votes he would have previously invalidated. I repeat, unsubstantiated allegations of the APNU AFC coalition. Lowenfield latest report actually validates votes. Lowenfield latest report actually validates votes he would have previously invalidated. The CEO now claims that the APNU AFC coalition garnered 171,825 votes, while the PPPC gained 166,346 votes. Private criminal actions have since been filed against Lowenfield for breach of public trust and conspiracy to commit fraud. My dearest friends and family, where can you make things up like this? Where can people put their mouth and their necks and their head for a political expediency for those they're in love with? Where will they put their shame and their family shame because of what they're doing? This is a sad and a terrible thing, my beloved divine friends and family. Lowenfield has disgraced Guyana. The chairman has to save Guyana. The chairman has to save her own dignity. The chairman has to follow the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, there are more. If you look at a watch party, you will have 2 or 3. If you look at this, you might look at it alone. So to give you time, not with too much of attachments. So, friends and family, thank you for tuning into this. The RK is Guyana Free Media. And for this information on the Guyana's elections update, the absolute ridiculosity and madness that's bringing shame to Guyana call elections 2020.